Sorry about that, folks. But you see it down there. It says it exactly in a great question. Equestria girls? Seriously? Okay. Here's what's going down. Well, it's going to say something about it. You know, it says Equestria girls. It's going to say My Little Pony spinoff coming. It's going to say MLP FIM Equestria spinoff coming. And like I just mentioned at the beginning of the videos, Equestria girls, seriously. I'm not lying, folks. In case you don't know about this, and you haven't heard, apparently Hasbro is going to be bringing out this spring to the hub the Equestria girls. Now the Equestria girls, basically, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is supposed to be a spin-off of Friendship and Magic. Now, you might wonder, for some of you that don't know about this, what is Equestria girls? Why is it a spin-off? What does it have to do with Friendship and Magic or My Little Pony? Well, apparently, this is supposed to take place in our world. I'm not joking. It's supposed to take place in our world. And there's two model sheets of exactly what the characters are going to look like, because apparently, when the characters show up in our world, they got to take on human form. That's right. Now, nobody knows exactly what the final design is going to be until the show shows up, or at least until we get a trailer. And this is why. Game Boy Sage has a link to the MLP Wikipedia. You know, the Friendship and Magic Wikipedia site. Not Wikipedia itself, but the Wikipedia for Friendship and Magic. And on there is what they say is one of the newest designs, or the newest, artwork designs for what the characters may look like. Apparently, the characters will be in this design, which obviously is the newer design. The characters will look like themselves, will be anthro, in other words, humanoid ponies. Now, the faces won't be like sticking out like this with those muzzles and all that. It must be squeezed in, if you know what I mean. It'll be mostly squeezed in from what I've seen, and it'll still be them. The other one that you could find on screwattack.com and places like that, believe it or not, and other places, has them very similar to just being humanoid girls, but with their skin colors and their hair. And that's it. Now, again, nobody really knows what the final design is going to look like, or how they're going to act. Because apparently, from what we're being told, and I don't know if this is correct or not, this is going to be this whole project is going to be taken over by a different team, and it's also going to have different voice actresses, if you will, or actors and actresses taking over the voices as well. Apparently, now you might say, well, how's that possible, or at all? Well, apparently, this is just my assumption, but I'm assuming the original voice cast might just show up for the first episode, where they probably enter our world, and then when they become human, or in some anthro-human, or whatever you want to call it, in some ways, that they'll get their different voice actors in. Now, already I can already tell you this. This is getting a mixed reaction from a lot of people. It is. There's a lot of people that actually like Friendship and Magic, but don't like this spin-off. They don't like it already. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they haven't even seen the show yet. It hasn't even come out. Give it a chance. And I understand that. They should give it a chance. Wait to see what happens. But even so, even if they do that, they still don't like the fact that Hasbro is doing this. Because basically, according to one comment on this, one comment, if you will, and this was on DeviantArt, one comment from an individual said that this is nothing more than a cash cow that Hasbro's cashing in on. And that it's nothing more than an excuse to sell dolls. Well, what do you think Friendship and Magic is? An excuse to sell little toy ponies. Perfectly acceptable, right? But again, they basically feel that this is nothing more than an excuse to sell dolls, if you will, as well as cash in on the recently successful Monster High series. That's right, you know, Monster High, which has also been recently having these 1 hour movies or specials airing on Nickelodeon, basically getting ready to do a, you know, ongoing series real soon. Well, I think it's Nickelodeon, or was it Cartoon Network? No, it's Nickelodeon. It's Nickelodeon. But again, basically what some people are mentioning is Hasbro sees this and they're like, you know what, we're not going to let Mattel, if it is Mattel, you know, be the only ones that cash in on this. We need to do something that's going to have a similar, a similar reaction or a similar cash in. And what do? They say, well, what can we come up with? Oh, we know. Let's just take our characters from our most successful series, one that's crossed all genders, one that's crossed all ages. Let's take them, let's take our main characters there, and some other characters, come up with a story to where they go into our world, and the only way to live in this world, well, for as long as they have to, is to make them human, or turn them into human ponies, or whatever, whatever the hell design they're coming up with. And some have already pointed out that this is just Hasbro's way of finally making the Friendship and Magic characters as girly as they can. Now, again, I understand people have said that you shouldn't be judging this, and anybody else shouldn't be saying this kind of stuff until they've seen the show itself. And I understand that totally, and I understand that completely. But what you people have to understand is that even though I, myself, and many others can know what you're saying, and understand and respect what you're saying, it's more along the lines of, the question really is this necessary? I mean, you got a big enough cash cow in Friendship and Magic that you do not need to do this. Now, some people are saying, well, not some people, but some people, well, let me correct myself. Basically, some people are stating that that they're actually looking forward to this. This is going to be interesting. And these are also the kind of people that will tell those that have mixed reactions about it, that, hey, don't judge it before you see it. But here's what's the interesting part about this whole scenario. The Equestria Girls series will have nothing to do with Friendship and Magic. According to the reports, unless deemed otherwise, unless Hasbro decides, you know what, we have to have it connected to Friendship and Magic, unless deemed otherwise, the Equestria Girls will be an entirely different series on its own. Well, Friendship and Magic will still retain everything that's made it popular. Now, what some people are assuming is going to happen, and again, this goes back to the fact that there will be those that will say, hey, don't knock it before you see it. What some are already projecting could happen is the fact that Well, they're projecting two things could happen. One, because Friendship and Magic is so popular, and people would rather watch that more than this, they feel the Equestria girls will only last maybe one season. And that might be true. Well, others, on the other side of that, on the other side of the spectrum, some feel that this Equestria Girls series is going to ruin Friendship and Magic. Well, let me make something perfectly clear. From what I have seen, and believe it or not, I've actually sat down and watched, even when my nephew was here, my 5-year-old nephew was here, I sat down and watched a few times, even at his house a few times, Friendship and Magic. I've watched it a few times, whether I want to or not. I've even watched some of the endings. I mean, I'll just sit down and I'll skim around the channels to see what's on, and there's nothing else on, and they're on. And it's towards the end of the episode. I'll just watch it and see what goes on. And I admit there are some interesting aspects to it. But here's the thing: I don't watch it, on a daily basis, and I barely watch it at all unless there's nothing else on. And I just flick it on for the last maybe few moments to see what's going on. And the truth is, even though I'm watching the last few moments, to me it's like, this is really interesting. I mean, this is, this is really interesting. I like, some of the things you can see, some of the things they're doing, even at the end of the episode. I mean, there are some funny things too, I will admit that. I mean, there was one episode where you had, I guess, these diamond dogs forcing Rarity to dig up diamonds because that's her specialty. And basically, they say something wrong about her that she doesn't like, and she starts whining and complaining, basically whining and everything, and it's like it just gets on the nerves, and they try to kiss up to her, and it's like, to me, it's, I admit that's fun, that's funny shit there. I admit that is kind of funny. But, so I'll admit there are some good stuff there. But even though I don't watch it on a daily basis, and I barely watch it at all, I will admit that. I will admit that. From what I've seen, from what I've barely seen on occasions, and I admit this, on occasions, if you will, I don't think Friendship and Magic is in any danger of being ruined by this spin-off. If anything, I hate to say this, and I know you think I'm going to be judged, I'm not giving it a chance, but I have this feeling the Equestria girls ain't going to last long either. Because people are going to be too used to seeing the characters the way they are. They're going to be too used to Friendship and Magic that they're going to want to see more of that than they want to see that. I mean, again, pretty much a lot of people are looking at that, and they're calling it nothing more than a Monsters Girl ripoff. That's what they're calling it. Or something just to cash in on the Monster Girl franchise. That's the way they look at it. So, honestly, I do agree with people that, those that are judging it right now should just wait and see what it's like when it comes out, and then judge, and then give judgment. Until then, just have to wonder and wait and see what it's going to be about. Hopefully get a trailer to see what the characters sound like and look like. And that's about it. But it is coming, but let me know what you guys think about it. Me, I don't care either way. I'm not watching it because I haven't watched Friendship and Magic either. But let me know what you guys think, though. What are your thoughts on this venture or this idea that Hasbro's come up with? Comment down below, and I'll talk to you later.